Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sales Mindset Show. I'm Chris Edwards and I'm here again with Steve Knapp.
Hi, yeah.
How you doing?
Very well, fantastic.
Excellent. We're here for another week.
Yeah.
And this week we're going to talk about something important, and I think something that relates to everybody one way or another, and that's mindset behind cold calling.
Oh yeah, don't you love it?
It's very important though, isn't it? It's everyone suffers with some kind of mindset. Whether you have the belief that you can, sell anything by cold calling and you go in with the utmost belief, or whether you're completely the opposite and you just have an uttermost fear of it.
Yeah.
Mindset controls the way in which you can sell over the telephone, and in particular, get the cold calling.
Yeah.
How has your experience with cold calling been over the years?
Well, it's been varied.
Okay.
A couple of things to say before we jump into the content, I guess. Cold calling, there is no silver bullet, right? There is no right, perfect way to do it, because the receiver is different, the seller has different emotions, but what we can do is we can work on techniques and process to make sure when those variables change, you've got more chance to succeed, right? Because the second point is cold calling is still the most effective way to generate appointments, which then is down to your sales process to turn into sales.
Okay, so you say there's no silver bullets, but there's many people out there that say they are the best closers when it comes to cold calling. Is that just mindset then?
Well, I think it is. It is mindset, right? Go on.
And using the whopper that we talked about last week.
Well, you see, here's the point. Structure and discipline will really get you further than randomness and luck. So if those people that are saying they're really good at closing on cold calls are the ones that use a process, then yeah, their success rate is probably higher. But actually, even before we jump into the process, people have almost a fear, a dread sometimes about picking up the phone. And that is to do with the emotions that you feel around rejection, the apprehension you have about getting put through to the right person, some of the beliefs that start to creep in that maybe my products aren't right or I'm not good enough as a salesperson. And all of this is all the stuff that is bombarding your mind as you set yourself up for your cold calling. That is mitigated somewhat by having a process.
Okay, because last week we talked about whopper,
Yeah.
and admittedly, I'm not the greatest with cold calling. I do suffer some confidence issues, and it's mostly around rejection, like it is with everyone. You start thinking, I don't want to get rejected, and when I do, does it mean I'm not very good at it, or does it mean my products aren't right? But I went in with the whopper. So over the last week, I've been using the whopper.
Yeah.
And I've actually, in there, I've got a rejection element of it. So actually, the rejection now feels part of the process.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not the part I want to happen, but should it happen, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
So my mindset has now changed slightly over the last week towards cold calling because of the processes.
And that's great to hear, because one thing's for sure, folks out there, right? You will be rejected. Cold calling is full of rejections. I mean, we put a post on a few weeks ago about your behaviours in the sales pipeline, and it said something like people spend 6 hours to get one appointment. Quite crazy. I looked at that because we got some feedback from one of our group members called Niraj, and what he said is that seems really high. And I went and looked a little bit more, and I found a chat around it. And what people were saying, actually, it's more likely out of 100 cold calls, you'll get something like 10 appointments. Okay. And I think the key there, and building so much on what you said, if you're prepared for the rejection, you're going to have this high percentage of rejection. It's important.
So yeah, that's like 90% chance of rejection. So if you go in worried what people are going to say, then you're going to end up feeling doomed about it, aren't you?
You are. And then, of course, what happens is if we overlay better prospect identification, we've spoken about that. if we overlay better preparation to the call, it means that your percentage is only going to go up and your success rate is going to be higher. It's unlikely to be 100%.
So what's your tips around mindset? How should people get into the right mindset? Is there a formula? We've had Spankhop, we've had Whopper. Is there a formula? You're going to tell me it's something like KISS now, aren't you?
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. No, we could say that. I think, for me, there's an important part about setting yourself up to succeed here. It's a little bit about when is the right time to cold call. So think about yourself. When are you at your most busy? Therefore, if you are in your business doing your planning, doing your quotes, doing your even out doing your sales or your service, that's a really bad time to call you, isn't it? Yeah. Because you're going to maybe not even answer the phone. So the key is, at the beginning, think about your customer, your contact, your client. When might be the best time to get those? And it could be, it's slightly out of the normal traditional working hours. There is something that now says that Thursday afternoon is the best time to cold call, some research, but it's actually saying cold calling is more effective to solo business, entrepreneurs, small business owners, between 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Because their mindset is clear.
Between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. On a Thursday.
On a Thursday. Yeah. Their mind is clear. Their week is well underway, and therefore, cold calling, you could argue, should be warm calling in a way.
Yeah.
Your buyer is receptive. You know what it is you're going to offer. You're prepared for the rejection because it's going to come, and you're just getting yourself up there. The other part of the process that I always say is, commit to do it. Put it in your diary every week when you're going to do your cold calling.
I think that's important, isn't it? And make sure you do, because the second that you don't is the second that you're already accepting those rejections before it's happened.
Yeah.
If you don't actually go through with the cold calling when you say you're going to.
And I don't know what your businesses are like out there, folks. It's not that we're talking about doing hundreds and hundreds of calls, right? Your cold calling could be the 6 people you met at your last networking event.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 100 people that you're going down a list. Now, some of you may have those big lists, and that might be more core to your business. So if you have some tips on mindset, it'd be really great if you chuck those in the comments, because we could all learn from those.
So if you have got anything, make sure you put them in the comments. Do let us know about your mindset, your tips, your steps, your strategy. And also, if last week you downloaded the Whopper and how you found that. So you could get that at the salesmindsetcoach.com, the Whopper. Hopefully you downloaded it. If not, do it now. But if you have, let us know how that's gone and how that's affected your mindset over the past week as well.
Yeah.
You talk about understanding what you're going to sell. Is there a certain thing you should sell? Should you be selling a product, or should you just be getting an appointment?
Well, so here's one of the nuggets, right? I talk about no silver bullet, but here is one of the nuggets. If your mindset is your objective is to get an appointment, right?
Yep.
Not to make the sale. We've already spoken about how many touch points it is before you convert a client, right? Between 5 and 12. So if you're going into a cold call and assuming you're just going to blow all of that statistics out of the water and you're going to get the call, you're going to get the order, that's quite unlikely if you think most sales are made on the 5th or 12th contact. So the goal is predominantly to make an appointment, to take the conversation to the next step, where then you move into the sales process.
Okay, so make sure you get that appointment, even if it's a follow-up call.
Yeah.
You're aiming for that rather than selling something on the first call. Because whether it's over telephone or in a network meeting, I'm sure you have to build up that rapport, don't you? That connection between the person.
Well, you do, and cold calls are often sort of the phrase the gatekeeper. They're often there to stop you talking to the person. So, that's real heavy, hard cold calling, right? You've got to go through some personal assistant or secretarial gatekeeper layer. And we've got a number of hints and tips around how you get past the gatekeeper. But if they are more on this warm call of mine, warm calling versus cold calling, people you've met at networking events, you're likely going to get straight through to small business owners, right? And this is where you just go pretty calm, pretty confident, because you've met them. Remind them who you are, remind them what you are, what you're about, and remind them why you're different. And then from there, you just go into the conversation. But go in with a very calm and confident way. We met, I'm Steve, I'm the sales mindset coach, and I'm different to everybody else because da-di-da-di-da.
Okay. And if you do want to understand more about how getting past the gatekeeper, if you go on to thesalesmindsetcoach.com, you can click through to Steve's YouTube channel, and there is plenty of videos on there that are going to help you and teach you how to get past that dreaded gatekeeper, or that gatekeeper according to how good you are or how much you love gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any points to consider when they're actually calling?
Well, I think the first point is, we said keep it as simple and go for the appointment. I think that's the first one. Remember that you don't have the right to enter the conversation. So the second tip is ask permission. Is it now okay that I talk to you about my products and services?
Okay, that sounds quite key, actually.
Yeah. The assumption that I'm now just going to listen to you. No, ask for permission. And if you ask for that permission, the mindset then is almost like, oh, hang on, this is a two-way.
Yeah.
It gives you validation to ask questions.
And it also lets them believe that they're still in control.
That's a good point as well. That's a good point.
Yeah, because you don't want to take that away from them, because they're going to make the decision.
Yeah.
So if they've got the control, they can make the decision.
Yep. And then the third one, just to remind you, this is not about making a sale. It takes between 5 and 12 contacts to make a sale. Why on earth would you expect it to come on the first call?
We don't want anyone to be even more fearful of that, thinking they've got to make 5 cold calls to the same person. It's actually every call that you make is easier and easier, and you're warming up that lead.
Well, and just to clarify that, if that does in any way give anybody concern, I talk about contacts, not calls. And that contact could be your social media touch that they've had already. It could be your networking. It could be the email you've sent prior to this meeting. It could be the brochure that they've received. So remember, it's not calls, it's contacts. But if you're going in cold, your mindset shouldn't be that you're going to make a sale.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all we have time for this week. Hopefully that's given everyone enough information about mindset when cold calling. If you do want to get more information, you can head over to thesalesmindsetcoach.com.
Yep.
You can comment and get hold of you directly, can't
Yep,
you?
absolutely.
Steve responds to all comments, so as normal.
Only the nice ones.
He does respond to the bad ones as well, don't worry. So let's fill up the timeline with comments. Any questions that you can think of, get them in there. If you've liked what you listened to today, give us some thumbs up, give us some hearts. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Next week, we are going to be talking about post-call and documenting what's just happened.
Yep.
That's vital, isn't it?
Absolutely.
As you move forwards. So thank you all this week for watching. From myself and Steve, thank you and goodbye.
See ya.